Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Howell. If you have had me before, you probably knew me as Miss Ward. I got married in the past few months and also finished my doctoral degree. So that was a big chunk of work off my plate. So I'm happy to be with you all this semester. And we're going to be in EDTC 5353. So if that's not the course that you're planning on taking, you might want to check with the registrar's office. I'm going to take you through now just kind of an overview of Blackboard. I know most of you have probably used it before, but we use it maybe a little differently in this course if you've not had courses with myself or Dr. Baker in the past. You should see the course in your Blackboard if you're watching this video, and I'm just going to go through kind of the navigation pane and how we'll do things this semester. The top link is the course homepage, and that's what you'll open up to. It kind of gives a welcome message each week. You'll see something like this. Yours is going to look a little different because I'm in as the instructor, so I have some different views that you may not see, but I'll kind of go through what you need to pay attention to. So you'll see the welcome message, and then you'll also see some archived weekly messages. So each week when I post the new one, I'll also archive the old messages. That way, if there's any information there for you that might be pertinent in another week, then you can go back and look at that. The second link over here, this is what you really need to pay attention to, especially right here in the beginning. This is going to give you the textbook that hopefully you've ordered. It's what was linked when you registered for the course. If you haven't ordered it yet, don't freak out. You can order it this week. We're not going to have any readings until next week that are going to be pertinent for anything that's going to be due. So go ahead and get that ordered. It's in the syllabus, and you'll just click, this is our syllabus, the schedule, and the course map. I'm going to start with the syllabus here. It's got a lot of the basic information that most syllabi have throughout the university. But the first part of the syllabus is going to go through our description, some of our goals, how you can contact me. That's up here at the top. So it's got my office phone, which is always forwarded to my cell phone, so you guys can feel free to call there. My emails, I have my Tarleton email here and also my Gmail. You can access, contact me at either one of those. There is a Blackboard mail tool, and I'm going to be honest, I check that each day or every 2 days, but it's not what I prefer to use. So you're welcome to contact me there, but you're not going to get as quick of a reply, and I don't check that quite as often just because you have to actually log into Blackboard and go into that mail tool to even know that you have an email there. So what I prefer is my Tarleton email or Gmail, whichever one you'd like to use there. If you scroll down, you'll see some of the learning outcomes. The goal is to give you some current trends and tools for developing effective online learning environments. I'm not going to read all of this to you because you can peruse through this at your convenience. Here's the required textbook. Now, I know a lot of you have already asked if you can order the newer version. That's just fine. They didn't change it in the catalog quickly enough. So it does still have this version listed from 2011, but you can order the newer version and everything will be fine as far as the quizzes and everything like that. We'll still work with that, so don't be concerned if you have ordered the newer version. Don't buy two by any means. And if you're ordering now, if you haven't ordered anything, I would probably recommend ordering the newer version just because that's going to have some more updated information as far as what you might use in your employment or if you're inside a classroom, so I would do that. There are some Blackboard help desk options here if you have issues. I can help you a little bit with Blackboard, but our Blackboard support team is wonderful, and so if you have some major issues, feel free to reach out to them. The course evaluation as far as grades is here. 90 to 100 is the basic 100-point grading scale. The percentages of weight is listed here. So the wiki contributions, which we're going to use Google Docs for that, is going to be 20%. The course foundation assignment, which is where you're going to have your own foundation assignment individually, and you'll learn more about that later, is 15%. The group discussions is another 15%. The participation in a synchronous Zoom session is 10%. And we'll schedule that in a few weeks, and that's where we can kind of come together online Since we don't see each other face to face, it'll give us an opportunity to kind of talk to one another and put some names with faces and get to know one another that way, and also to see if you have any course questions or anything that's kind of confusing or you want clarification on. You can feel free to reach out to me anytime before then, but that'll give us the time to kind of talk to everyone at once, and it's a pretty cool little session that we'll do there. The module development and peer critique, you're going to develop your own module in Blackboard, and so that's going to be worth 20%. You'll see on the course map in the schedule that there is some Google Classroom integration this year, and for those of you who are at Google schools, that'll be really nice for you to be able to integrate that into your Blackboard course, and so that's 20% of your grade, and then the final exam is the final 20%. So if you don't know how to do weighted grades, you can ask me about that once we get closer to the end of the semester, but that's kind of how everything will weight out. Just be sure to keep up on everything that we're doing. If you have anything come up, be sure to reach out to me so that we can know as soon as possible if there are any issues or if there have to be maybe alternative assignments or anything like that. So as you scroll down, there's some descriptions of the course deliverables. Again, I'll let you read through all of that. There is no extra credit and there is no late work. There's no provisions for making up a missed assignment. So again, if you have something come up, an extenuating circumstance, I know life happens, I'm very understanding when it comes to that, but you have to communicate with me early so that we can, plan for it and do something alternatively if need be. So just be sure to communicate with me. The course topics outline is here, just again kind of gives you a basic understanding of what's going to happen each week. You'll see here in bold, week 13 is completely off for Thanksgiving break, so there's no class or assignments. You get that whole week, at least in this class or any other classes of mine, to be with your family and kind of take a little break towards the end of the semester. And then as we scroll down, there is all of the other information about support throughout the university. So that is the course syllabus. The course schedule breaks it down a little differently because we all learn differently. So some of us are a little more visual, some of us want it more condensed. This is going to kind of give you a breakdown of each week. And we do, the class starts on Monday at midnight. So we go Monday through Sunday. So that gives you the weekend to kind of catch up on anything if you missed something. And that's all listed throughout the course schedule. And then there's a course map. So the course map is actually a Google drawing. And if I click on this, it's going to show up a little small here, but all you have to do is go up to View once it loads here. Click View and 100%, and then you'll see it here. So this is just a very visual way of seeing what we're doing each week. And so we used to draw these out by hand, and now I use Google Drawing. So it also gives you a tool to look at that you might be interested in using in your classroom. Besides the Google Drawing, I've also exported it out to a PDF, so you can click that if it's something you want to print or save to your computer. And it's got it there for you. So it just kind of explains what we do each week in the course. Below that is some common terminology and tools used in the class. Again, I don't want to read this to you because you can do that on your own, but I do recommend you, going through and looking at this. So some of the participation expectations, you can expect me, Dr. Baker's not teaching it this semester, to be accessible to answer your questions, be responsive to emails and other forms of correspondence. Again, I'm very, very good at email almost any time of the day, unless you're sending it through Blackboard Mail. So I will check that, so don't feel like you're lost at sea if you send it through there. And feel free, if you do send it through there, not thinking, to send it as well to my Tarleton or Gmail account, because you'll get a much quicker response that way. But I'm very open to correspondence. You can expect me to model an appropriate and professional tone in all forms of correspondence, and to provide you with substantive feedback on your work in an appropriate and timely manner. If I don't provide feedback, then you're not going to know what you're doing right, wrong, or indifferent. So it's my goal to give you lots of feedback and good feedback in hopes that you will be able to do better or do differently, or keep doing the same if you're doing great on your key point entries or whatever else you're doing in the course. And then to also serve as a neutral voice for group members involved in collaborative efforts. We do some group work in here. You're all adults, and you're all probably working from different areas, and you're not going to see each other face to face. You might not know each other. And so if there are any issues or anything that you need to work out, we don't typically have those kind of problems, but some people work very early in the week. Some people work later in the week. And so if you have issues or questions, you can feel free to reach out to me to help, serve as that neutral voice for your group. So, as a participant, you're expected to seek out assistance and resources to help you reach your learning goals in the course, invest adequate time to complete all assignments, log in and participate in the course early in the week. I know that that's hard for some of you. We all have other portions of our lives going on, oftentimes work and kids and family and, anything else that you've got going on. Nothing is more or less important than anything else, but you do have to put your coursework as a priority. And so for success in the course, you do need to make sure that you are active and participative, throughout the whole course. The time commitment investment, we put kind of an average of what we think it's going to take you to complete the work. It could take longer, it could take less. It might depend on if you're multitasking and have a lot of things going on as well. So just be sure to look through and at least early in the week kind of know what you've got to work with. That way you don't log on Sunday night and realize it's something that you needed to be doing all week. So, just be sure to keep ahead of the game when it comes to that. My contact information is here. Again, it's kind of listed everywhere, so you can contact me by any means you see fit. I have both emails listed here. I have my office hours. Typically, I don't have a lot of my students that come and visit me in the office, but you can feel free to call. You can call outside of that time. Like I said, it's forwarded to my cell phone, and you can always feel free to email me, and I will respond. So we do have a course hashtag, and that is hashtag EDTC5353. If you find any resources about ed tech or integration of technology, anything cool that you think might be related to the class, use that hashtag, and I will post some of the class tweets down here. So it's empty right now because we're starting out the class. So my Twitter handle is here. If you follow me, then I'll follow you back so that you can see anything that's going on with the class or anything like that. And then going down here, we have an announcements tab. I've got that turned off right now because we don't have any announcements. The kind of meat of the course is here in the weekly modules section, and I'll come back to that. I'm going to show you our Google Plus community as well. That's where you're going to make your introduction posts and then any course comments, questions, anything like that. I've got it linked to the one from last semester right now just so that you can kind of see what we do in there, because the one for this semester is obviously empty. So you can go through here, and the first week we're just going to do introduction. But throughout the semester, you'll be able to go in here and ask courses about your developmental course that you're working on, just discussion questions, anything that you want to ask. And what's nice is you're asking your whole group of peers, not just me. So I love to see the collaboration between students on here, where you might throw out a question that others have as well, and another student's already figured it out, or they have an idea. You guys can kind of bounce off one another. So it's really a cool way of collaborating. If you've not used Google Plus in the past, that's what we'll use for our collaborative online discussion post instead of using the discussion board in Blackboard. So I'm just trying to throw out some tools there for you as well. That way everything is not strictly within Blackboard. We love Blackboard, but we also like some other tools so that it can give you some other options in your courses as well. So going back to the weekly modules, I'll open them up 1 week at a time. So starting with week 1, as it loads here, you'll see the introduction to the course, and within each folder, it's a little different depending on the week, but there will typically be a soft chalk lesson, which is going to, I'm not sure what it's doing here. Okay, so it's going to link you out to an introduction to the course, and I'm just going to show you this one real quickly, and then Okay, so you just kind of go through the self-chalk lesson, and it gives you information, and then sometimes there's multiple pages, sometimes there's not. Back in the course module, you'll see we'll do a survey for this week, week 1, and then you'll set up a Google account if you don't already have one. There's some information in here on how to send me your Google account so that I know that, and also to share all of your Google Docs throughout the semester. And then here is the link to introduce yourself to the Google Plus community, and that's linked to ours for this semester. And then at the very end, this is our Google or our completion verification form. I like this. It's kind of like a checklist, knowing that you got everything turned in. Sometimes there's multiple deliverables and it might not be something major, but it's just something that you need to check off your list. So this just kind of gives you an idea of, you know, did you do everything that we wanted you to do for this this week? And this does get turned into us, but it's not for a grade. It's just something that we can go back to and say, hey, you checked off that you did this, but we didn't get it, or you know, if there's any questions. So it's kind of like an accountability factor for you to just check off, and it's also to let us know if you're motivated, how motivated you are. I know that with work and class and everything else going on, you might not be extremely motivated to do your classwork each week, but we like to kind of keep track of that to see if there's something that we're not doing. And I say we, I've co-taught this with Dr. Baker in the past, but that I'm not doing as your professor that needs to be done better or different or anything like that. So I like feedback as well, so that I can make sure that I'm doing things well for you so that you have success in the class. So that's kind of an overview, a quick overview of what is available in this course. There are some other links here that aren't open right now. The mail link is here, so you can send mail to me or any other peer in the class. You will have a My Grades tab, which will show up for you. It's not going to show up for me because I'm the instructor. But once you start getting graded deliverables, you'll see those in this tab. And then there's always Blackboard help as well. So you have that in the syllabus and you have it on here. So I hope that you have a great first week. I know that summer went very quickly for me. I'm sure it did for many of you as well. And I'm sure that most of you, if you're working at a K-12 district, that you're probably back in school or will be this week as well. So I hope we have a great start to the school year. Feel free to reach out to me any way you'd like. For those of you I've had in other classes, I look forward to working with you again. And for those of you who are taking this course either as an elective or as the first rotation in the IDMT focus area, then I'm really happy to have you in class and excited to work with all of you this semester. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I look forward to working with and seeing all of you on the synchronous session here in a couple weeks. Have a great week.